James here. If you like my content, if you like my money making ideas, please like and subscribe and comment. I'm making it a goal to continue to provide great content. And today I'm talking about how I made $26,000 in 1 month without selling anything to anyone, which sounds kind of crazy, but it's very real and it's very possible. How did I do that? So this was several years ago. And at the time I was doing a lot of what we call CPA marketing, so cost per action. And there's companies out there that'll pay you not just when you give them sales, but if you provide them leads. And in this particular example, what I did was send people to phone numbers. These were 1-800 numbers that I didn't have to pay for, where the fact that I was getting people to call phone numbers was enough for certain companies to say, okay, for example, one of the phone numbers that I sent people to was for Allstate Insurance. And Allstate Insurance at the time was paying $14 for someone to call a specific phone number. Now, that person had to stay on the phone for, I want to say, 30 seconds. I forget exactly the number, but they wouldn't pay someone that just called the number and then hung up after 5 seconds. They wanted legitimate phone calls. So people that were looking for insurance would call my number, and then I'd get paid $14 per call. And that really, really added up to the tune of, like I said, $26,000, not just for getting people to call for insurance, but I had other avenues. There's a whole world of what we call pay-per-call marketing. So pay-per-call marketing is a subset of CPA marketing. So again, if you did a search for pay-per-call networks, pay-per-call affiliate programs, you very quickly will find networks where, again, there's companies that will, for all kinds of different categories, are looking for leads. And it's a great thing because you don't have to provide the actual service. All you have to do is drive those phone calls. Obviously, I'm not Allstate. I'm not a big insurance provider. I don't have that back end. It's a multi-million-dollar, multi-billion-dollar business. But I could get someone to call a phone, and even though you might think, well, $14 for a minute or 2 minutes of someone's time, like that seems like a lot. $14. Again, you're not getting anyone to pay anything. It's not that they had to convert on the back end. It was just getting those calls. But Allstate knew its numbers that phone call overall, what is it worth when someone signs up for insurance? I don't know. But let's just say you sign up for insurance, for car insurance, maybe for quick numbers, that's $100 a month. Well, let's say that someone stays with an insurance company for 2 or 3 years. Then that's now worth $2,400 or $3,600. So that insurance policy, for example, could be worth $3,600, but they're paying $14 per call. Now, each person that calls is not going to convert, but again, they know their numbers, that maybe 1 out of every 5 people that call would convert, and they're then spending $100 roughly or less to procure the long-term value of a customer of $3,600 in this example. So those are rough numbers, but that's how the game is played. So how did I actually get people to call these phone numbers? Well, I did a lot of it with free things. So, for example, there was a site that I used called. The site was called. I forget the exact name, but it was something like "Get Me Directly to a Person." In other words, people get frustrated, and I know I do. Personally, when you're trying to call, let's say customer service, or trying to call a company, and it's like, you have to push 1 and then you listen, and then you have to push 5 and then you have to push a number, and it's like just get me to a person. Well, there was a site that did that said, how do you get exactly to a person? So I was able to add my phone number, and actually I think I had 5 or 10 different 800 numbers in this particular example, and I would add, okay, if you want to get in touch with Allstate, here's how you get in touch with them, and it was going to my number. Or I was making comments. If people were asking questions on certain sites about insurance, I would give value and talk about car insurance in general. And by the way, here's a number to call them. And people have their guard down in the sense that you're not, again, trying to be pushy. You're not trying to sell anything to anyone. You're providing value with, here is a number where you can get where you need to go. And they're actually going to that particular company. And I did this for all different things. Another option that I did that was super effective was, at the time, there was You may or may not be familiar with Yellow Pages, depending how old you are. But there was a point in time where everyone had a Yellow Page book, and then people don't use that anymore. As far as I know, people don't really pay to be in the Yellow Pages. Maybe some companies do, but it's a dying thing. But there was a point in time where Yellow Pages actually had an online service where you could go to yellowpages.com or yp.com, I forget what it was, and you could pay to list your phone number, to list your business, and you could pay them for phone calls. So I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, but I would put a listing, let's say for Allstate, and I'd put it in different cities in the United States, because Allstate in this particular case only wanted calls from the United States. So I didn't care if it was online for free if someone called from another country. Ultimately, I wasn't paying for that advertising, and if they were in the United States and they qualified, great. I was getting paid for nothing. I didn't have to pay advertising. But when you're paying for advertising, it gets to be a little bit trickier, because if I'm getting paid $14 for a phone call, I better make sure that I'm paying less than $14 myself to get it. So at that particular time on the Yellow Pages website, I was paying roughly maybe $2 per phone call, something to that effect. And they wouldn't charge me if someone hung up under a certain point, let's say 15 seconds. So I had to test it and make sure it worked out. But I was getting paid if someone stayed on for 30 seconds, or something to that effect, and I was being charged if someone stayed on for over 15 seconds. So it was a numbers game, but it worked out. So basically, I was putting in, let's say, $5 on average per phone call, something like that. But I was getting paid $14, and it's all hands off. So I'm driving ads for people to make phone calls, and someone's paying me to get those phone calls. I'm directing that traffic, and that's how I got paid, to the tune of $26,000 on my best month, by driving people to free phone calls, and not having to sell them anything. So there definitely is opportunity out there to make big money. And CPA in and of itself is a whole different game, where people will pay you if you get them an email address. People will pay you if you have someone submit their zip code to then bring them down another process. So if you want to get paid to not create your own products, but to be a traffic driver, you can do all kinds of things. You could make YouTube videos talking about a certain subject. It doesn't have to be insurance. It could be somebody needs to go to a rehabilitation center, and maybe that they pay you so much per lead, or somebody pays you so much for someone that wants to lose weight, or whatever it is. You provide value talking about that particular topic, and then you just let them know, hey, by the way, if you need help with this, if you need insurance, or if you're looking to lose weight, there's this, or whatever the niche is, by the way, here's a phone number, it's free, you can call. And again, you're getting paid for that. So if you can be a facilitator of traffic to get it to people that have the systems, that have the products, you can make money with affiliate marketing. In this particular case, it was pay-per-call marketing. So I hope this brought some value to you, and let me know if this resonates with you. Like and share and subscribe, and I'll continue to bring more ways for you to make money online.